Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a deck of panning update. I'm so excited for it. I have so many things that are this close to being able to be rolled out of this project, so next month is going to be even more exciting. I created this project and I was inspired by Books with Maddie, who is of course linked down below. She is a booktuber. I love reading. I watch booktube almost as much as beauty YouTube, and she does Deck of TBR, a monthly game to choose what books she's going to read that month, and I thought that would be so perfect for a project pan. Obviously I had to move things around, and also our game board is digital. You can find that down below as well, just so that everyone can play and have the same board and wouldn't be as labor intensive as Maddie's game board. She has a beautiful board that's like a physical, tangible thing that is in her videos. I currently have 6 products in my project pan because I have committed to pulling a new card every month, even if I don't meet any goals. So my project has a potential to get bigger and bigger. That is not a part of the project pan rules. If you don't want to do that, please don't. I'm just a glutton for punishment, apparently. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with what has been in the project since the beginning. For a product that a friend is also panning, I'm working on the Touch In Sol No Poreblem primer. It's just Steph is panning this as well. Last update, I was here. You can hardly see my lines, and now I'm about a centimeter below that. I will just insert a picture to the side of me because it's clearly not showing up on my screen. I've used that 10 times since the last update for a total of 46 uses. It's a good primer. I don't mind using it often. It's just taking a long time. For most expensive, I chose my most expensive powder, which is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. I've used it 8 times since the last update, which I think is pretty good considering I'm working on 4 powders, for a total of 26 uses in this project. I could barely squeeze in another line if I really wanted to. Again, I'll take a picture, but I don't think I'm going to, because I'm just going to end up essentially having like a solid black Sharpie line on either side. I'm using it. My goal with both of those is to finish them off. In my intro, I got the Joker, Are You Joking? So I chose the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. My goal is to either hit pan in a second shade in this palette, or at least use it 30 times before rolling it out, and I'm at 21 uses. So I'm feeling pretty confident I will be able to roll this out next time for sure. I've been using the shade Stark to set my eyelid primer every day, and then I've been reaching for a couple of the other shades, mostly Punk and Baby, like the most often, but also a bit of Zone. I've also used Harajuku a couple of times. Like, I'm trying to not just use the lid setting shade but also reach for other things. I've been liking Skimp as a really subtle brow bone highlight. I don't usually like on me like the really shimmery and noticeable brow bone highlight, so that's been nice, but none of those shades really look like they're getting that much used. This shade down here took almost 80 uses hit pan, definitely over 75. I can't quite remember the exact number, but it took forever. So I'm happy to be using this palette, and it will be rolling out next time, but I'm glad I changed my goal to 30 uses or hitting pan, because originally I said I wanted to hit pan in a shade, but knowing, sorry, I was blinding you. Knowing it would take me so long was discouraging me from reaching for the palette as a whole. So now knowing like I have the 30 uses, I'm reaching for it almost daily now. For a brand you own the most from, that's easily ColourPop for me. I chose the Sweet Talk palette. I want to use this 10 times, and I am at 7, I believe. Yes, I've used this 7 times so far in this project, so only 3 more to go. Again, I should have just buckled down and used it a couple more times, but it is what it is basically. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I don't love it as much as like I thought I did in my mind thinking back. It's like less exciting than I thought in my head. I don't know where I'm going with that. I love these 2 shimmer shades, Side to Side, the Super Shock Shadow, and Garden Date, and I've been using a ton of the mattes. I particularly love the mattes in this palette. I've been getting a ton of use out of ICYMI, Meadow, and Feel Free, this deeper one here. And I don't use the pressed glitters at all. Really, this is one of those palette purchases that I really probably shouldn't have made. I like it, I don't love it, but knowing that like 2 out of 12 shades I'm not going to use unless forced to, I don't know. I really try to avoid palettes with pressed glitters nowadays, but just 3 more uses. Again, this should be an easy one to roll out next time. I did get the whole collection roulette, and what was selected for me was the Kevyn Aucoin Light Sculpting Powder. My goal is to use this 30 times or to hit pan on it. I have used this 21 times in total, 10 times since the last update. So again, only 9 more uses before I can roll this out. Again, that should be easy. I really don't feel like I'm that close to pan at all. There is a bit of a dip in there, but nothing significant. This was in another project last year where I used it 40 times and still didn't hit pan on it. Now I've used it an additional 21, and those are only the uses that I've tracked. Like, I've had this product for years and years. I feel like it's pretty good value for money for being so pricey. Lastly, I was working on a blush. This was for a product that matches your shirt. I had on a floral shirt at the time, and this has a floral print on the top. This is Seraphine Botanicals Happy Hibiscus. My goal is to use this 15 times, and I did meet that goal this month. I only had to use it 4 more times since the last update. That was pretty easy to do, and I'm happy that this now looks like it's got quite a bit of use on it. Again, this is an older product in my collection. A lot of my collection is old. I don't know why I always feel the need to say that, but I'm happy that it got some solid use on me. This is a more wintry blush for my preferences, and I'm happy to be putting this away and drawing a new card, though I would have done that anyways. Oops, I completely forgot to include the product I drew in last time for a king, which is an oldest product in any category. I did choose the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Liquid Lipstick in the shade Fig, as it's my oldest liquid lipstick. My goal is to use it 10 times, and I've used it 3 so far. I'll be sure to include it next time. Now onto the fun part. I pulled out my other Winnie the Pooh cards. You guys seem to love my Winnie the Pooh deck of cards. This is a blue theme. The other ones are purple, so I just thought I'd switch it up. And I did make sure it has 1 joker. These decks come with 3 jokers, so I had to find and pull 2 of them out. I don't know how to do the bridge shuffle. I am not that talented. Pulling off the top. The 5 of Spades. I will put a picture of what the game board is looking like this month. I forgot to do that in my intro, but the 5 of Spades is pattern, which means to wear off the pattern embossed on something. Oh boy. This one could be pretty tricky. I'm working on 2 Super Shock shadows already, but I feel like that would be the easiest. Wearing off the pattern on a blush or highlight or anything like that would take me so long. What else? If you missed my beauty spreadsheets video, I think that was the last beauty video that went up. I have a list of like all the product types in projects. I'm working on 3 bronzers, 4 blushes, and 3 highlights already, so I should not do that. But it needs to be something pressed, so it needs to be an eyeshadow or something like that. Oh my gosh, that took me so long. There are so many products that I wanted to pull in that I was thinking of, and I was looking, I was like, oh, that pattern is like almost worn off already. I should choose that. And then I remembered something that's been sitting in the makeup drawer of shame for way too long. And so it's brand new. It's never been used before. So I made it like a little bit more challenging for myself. This is the Ace Beaute Glimmer shadows. These are very similar to the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. However, I was looking at ones I have of those, and a lot of them, like, I could probably use them like 2 or 3 more times and I'd get the whole pattern off. So I thought, no, it should be something a little more challenging. I did choose the shade Cotton Candy, which is like a pink with gold running through it. I will give a swatch. These have a very deep pressing in the pattern versus the ColourPop one. I thought this would be really fun for summertime. It's pretty vibrant and will also go with some of the other eyeshadows I'm panning. It can be used as more of a topper. I'm estimating this will probably take 10 to 20 uses to get the pattern off. Like I said, it's pretty like deep, whereas like the ColourPop ones, it's just a light pressing. And also I just need to use these. Like, how sad. It's been sitting in my makeup drawer of shame for so long. It is starting to dry out and pull away from the sides. I have 2 of these. The other one I have is more of a neutral, like goldish kind of shade, and I'm already working on a gold Super Shock shadow. So because they would be too similar, I ended up choosing this pink one. But I do think that is pretty, but also kind of challenging to use so much. So this is the product I'm choosing for pattern, my 5 of spades. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy that I got to roll out a blush. I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed with blush right now. There are so many I want to be using, just like in a shop my stash kind of capacity, but also ones I'm trying to hit pan on, which I've never done. Let's talk next update. I'm hoping to roll out 3 products, 9 more uses on both my sculpting powder and my Joker palette, the Gwen Stefani palette. That should not be hard to do in the span of 1 month, and only 3 more uses on my Sweet Talk palette. And honestly, those 3 uses, I could be using this shade as well, because I feel like these will pair really nicely together. That is everything for today's update. I am loving this project so much. I love watching everyone's update videos. There is a playlist in my description box for you to binge watch. If I didn't get your YouTube video into the playlist, just let me know. I do continue to search Deck of Panning both with spaces and without for a couple days prior and after our update. But sometimes, you know, people are just late and that's no big deal, but that just means I sometimes miss videos to add them into the playlist. But you can add your video to the playlist yourself. There is a collab link within the spreadsheet for the project. If you click that, it will give you permission to add your own videos if that's something you want to do. Just be sure you're only adding your Deck of Panning updates. I hope you guys want this to come back next year. I think this project is a lot of fun. I already have ideas on how I would change certain aspects of this project up, which as we near closer, I will probably bounce my ideas off of some of my friends, project panning friends here in the space, just to see what they think of it. I can't believe I'm already thinking ahead to 2022. I guess it's just like the project panner and planner in me. I'm like, ooh, what are we gonna do next year? What am I gonna pan next year? How are my projects going to be? I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!